Welcome back to Learn English with Stories. Have you ever sent an email and immediately wished you could take it back? Today's story is about Emma, a marketing executive who made a simple mistake but sent it to the wrong person. At first, it seemed like a small problem, but within minutes, it turned into a very uncomfortable situation. Let's begin. Emma had been working in the marketing department for over a year. She was known as someone who was creative, organized, and usually very careful with her work. Her job involved planning campaigns, writing content, and communicating with both her team and clients. And most of that communication happened through email. One afternoon, Emma was working on a campaign for an important client. The project had been going on for weeks, and recently there had been some delays and unexpected changes. Emma was starting to feel frustrated. She had just received another message from the client asking for revisions. As she read the email, she sighed quietly. "This is the third change this week," she said to herself. At that moment, her colleague Jake walked by. "Everything okay?" he asked. Emma turned to him and replied in a slightly annoyed voice, "This client keeps changing their mind. It's really slowing us down." Jake nodded. "Yeah, that sounds frustrating." After that short conversation, Emma turned back to her computer. She decided to write a quick email to Jake explaining her thoughts more clearly. In the email, she wrote honestly. She described the situation, the delays, and her frustration. She even wrote one sentence that was a bit too direct. "This client is being very difficult and unclear." Emma didn't mean to be unprofessional. She was just trying to express her feelings to a colleague. After finishing the email, she quickly typed the recipient's name. Then, without thinking too much, she clicked send. For a few seconds, everything seemed normal. But then, something didn't feel right. Emma looked at her screen again, and suddenly her eyes widened. She checked the recipient, and her heart dropped. She hadn't sent the email to Jake. She had sent it to the client. For a moment, Emma froze. She couldn't believe what she had just done. Her mind started racing. Did I really send that? What will the client think? She quickly opened the sent email. There it was, every word, including the sentence, "This client is being very difficult and unclear." Emma covered her face with her hands. "This is a disaster," she whispered. She knew she had to act quickly. Ignoring the situation was not an option. For a few seconds, she thought about what to do. Then she made a decision. Instead of pretending nothing happened, she decided to take responsibility. Emma opened a new email. This time, she carefully checked the recipient. Then she began to write. "Dear Mr. Brown," she typed, "I would like to sincerely apologize for the previous email." She paused, choosing her words carefully. "That message was not intended for you, and I truly regret the confusion and any offense it may have caused." Emma continued writing, keeping her tone professional and respectful. "I understand that my words were inappropriate, and I take full responsibility for this mistake." Then she shifted the focus to the work. "We value our collaboration with you, and we are fully committed to delivering the best results for your campaign." Before sending, Emma read the email again, slowly, carefully. Then she clicked send. Now all she could do was wait. Minutes felt like hours. Emma couldn't focus on anything else. Finally, a reply appeared. She hesitated for a moment, then opened it. "Thank you for your apology," the client wrote. The tone was serious, but not aggressive. "I appreciate your honesty. Let's focus on moving forward and completing the campaign successfully." Emma read the message twice. Then she let out a quiet breath. The situation was uncomfortable, but it was not the end. Over the next few days, Emma worked even more carefully. She communicated clearly, she reviewed every message before sending, and gradually the working relationship returned to normal. From that experience, Emma learned an important lesson. In business, communication is not just about what you say, it's also about who you say it to. And sometimes, one small mistake can teach you to be much more careful in the future. Now that you've heard the story, let's go through some useful business English words and phrases that appeared in this situation. First, let's look at the word recipient, which refers to the person who receives an email or message. In this story, the problem happened because Emma selected the wrong recipient, and this is actually a very common mistake in professional communication. Next, we have the phrase by mistake, which means something was done unintentionally. Emma sent the email by mistake, but even unintentional actions can have serious consequences in a business environment. Moving on, we come to the word apologize, which means to say sorry for something you did wrong. In professional situations, a clear and sincere apology can help reduce tension and rebuild trust. Another important expression is take responsibility, which means to accept that the mistake was yours. Instead of making excuses, Emma chose to take responsibility, and this helped her manage the situation more effectively. We also have the word confusion, which refers to a situation that is unclear or misunderstood. Emma mentioned confusion in her apology to acknowledge the impact of her message. Finally, let's look at the phrase move forward, which means to continue working after a problem has happened. In business, people often focus on solutions rather than staying stuck in the mistake, and that is exactly what happened in this story. As you can see, these expressions are extremely useful in real communication, especially dealing with mistakes and professional relationships. So, what can we learn from this story? Even a small mistake, like sending an email to the wrong person, can create a difficult situation. But staying calm, taking responsibility, and responding professionally can help you fix the problem and move forward. If you want to improve your business English for real-life situations, learning through stories like this is a powerful method. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow the channel for more stories. See you in the next video.